Good morning, my fellow Negroes and Caucasoids. I'm Travis Terrell, and this is We Are Live!
Caucasoid playing this week in the St. Louis Red Light District. 3 quarters get you each minute. Caucasoid. I feel like when I Caucasoid.
Yeah, it's like almost like look, I got to get something warmed up. We got Cocktoberfest coming up here pretty soon. As you can tell, the weather is changing.
More work will be put into Cocktoberfest
than anything we've done this year.
Anything we've ever wanted to do, will do, or will have ever done. It's Chris Sim and Travis Terrell. We're live at Midcoast Studio in Grand Center in St. Louis, Missouri. Fun show playing today. International Man of Leisure, Chris Manso, the owner of Snappy Bigman Coffee Company, will join us. Travis, but first we need to say hey to our friend and stream queen, big time stream queen. What a stream queen. And Scooter King.
Where is he? He's been around here somewhere.
Forest Park Jester, Chris Gardner. Hello.
There he is. Woo!
Got the carte blanche on today.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's the St. Louis shirt, isn't it?
St. Louis shirt.
All right.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Hey, Pa.
Good morning, Walnuts.
Woo woo! Put it up, Chris.
Which includes
Damn it! Put it up. Put the nut of wall up.
some Caucasoids, I guess.
Oh yeah.
What if I do my tongue like a W?
Yeah. Let's see what you got. Oh, okay. That's how you get them. That's how you get them
Is
back.
that kind of, you see it? It's got the pearl, the oyster thing going.
I like it. Okay, I
Hold
see
on
you,
here a
man.
sec. Hold on a
All right, let's
second
get a
here.
close up at that. I think I see a W too. Spell your name out. Oh damn. Oh,
Kinda
you
weird,
do.
right?
Wow, that is okay. I see why Tower Grove be popping, if you know what I mean. Okay.
I appreciate whatever shifting just happened in your heads, and you said no names or anything else. 'Cause you did that, and then he's like, "I'll just say the neighborhood where he lives in case people aren't aware."
In Chris's head, it went like this.
It did. One of our favorite expressions.
That was going on in his head as you were talking.
How do I do it?
Normally, it's like that.
That one?
Yeah.
Okay, but I'm not really mad when that happens, am I? Am I actually mad when that happens?
I think it's like a reset for you.
That one?
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember when I do it, so I must be blacking out. So I must be actually angry.
I think a lot of times that one's just more frustration. And it's your
Not
little-
anger at anyone in
No,
particular.
it's just a little reset for you to calm down for a moment.
It's wise.
Yeah,
That's
no,
what it
it's a
is.
good mechanism to use.
Yeah. We're drinking some Snappy Bigman, aren't we, Trav? Cheers.
Big man of Snappy, indeed,
Cheers.
my friend.
Our friend Chris is going to come in. He's actually extremely interesting, and he loves to talk. So you guys give us some questions. If you have coffee questions, he makes Snappy Bigman coffee. He's distributed cigars for the last 20, 30 years, and he's a very interesting guy. He's done improv as well, so maybe you can do some exercises with him live on air, Travis.
Oh, I didn't realize he was a Michael Scott fan. Okay,
That's
good for
right.
him.
Acting. So we'll get into that and more today. Travis, baseball's hot on your mind. It's about to be playoff season. Gardner's got things to say. What do you got, buddy?
I have something kind of baseball related.
Okay.
I got a press release from the Cardinals this morning.
Oh,
Excuse
yeah?
What?
What's the big news, man? What can you share with the people?
Are you excited?
I-
I'm excited.
Well, Chris Gardner has a tease, boys and girls. A release from the St. Louis Cardinals?
I'm going to put a portion of it up on the screen, okay?
Limerita prices have dropped for the new pumpkin spice flavored, White Claw inspired Anheuser-Busch drink.
That'd be great if they have
That's
a
right.
Limerita Village. They want to unroll. They want to roll out this postseason. But what do we have?
All right, here we go. Kenny Chesney returning to Busch Stadium. Country star to perform
Returning.
on June 13th, 2020.
Day after
as
my birthday.
part of 20 Stadium Show Tour. Look at the picture on there. Chillaxification
Oh,
Tour.
no. That's not a word. And it's a
Wait.
double, triple not
Now,
a
wait,
word.
wait.
Oh, no. I see who's opening.
Now, wait.
Oh, God.
Wait. With guests,
Oh, God.
Florida Georgia Line,
Oh, no.
Old Dominion, and Michael Frante and Spearhead.
Oh, no.
Florida Georgia Line.
Oh, no.
Never hoped for global warming to win this round. in
Yeah.
This particular event.
I'll turn 36 the day before that. I'd just as soon stay 35 in everyone's mind forever.
There's your duo, Travis, right there.
What's their song? Let's roll. Is that one?
That's one.
What's the one with Nelly?
Is it? This is how we roll.
This is how. Yeah. Okay. Got it. All right. Chillaxification tour.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, don't know.
There are a couple of stories on today's rundown that have been taken away from Chris and I. There's another story we're going to get to later about a particular Hollywood actor, but this would have been solid for the Great American Race. But
Yeah.
outside of that, I'm sorry, guys. But this is racist as hell!
It's pretty funny.
So it's,
Kenny Chesney returns. So before you get any
Decent white artist.
entertainment of color, you bring back Kenny Chesney.
yeah.
Like, I know there are a lot that goes into booking a stadium tour, and not every artist does a stadium tour. And I would imagine the Cardinals look at charts and look at numbers
What do you
and
have, 20 to
determine
pick
whether
from?
or not, if that, you know,
That
I
are
don't,
capable,
that
right?
are capable. So you have to look at a number of variables, but I would love to just have somebody from Busch Stadium Entertainment maybe just sit down with me, sit down with us to help explain why there seems to be a constant theme with particular artists that play at Busch Stadium. And again, I'm not saying that you have to bring in a Meek Mill or Jesus, I'm trying to see who probably is doing stadium. Cardi B, I don't know, but I just
Beyonce
don't.
was. Beyonce and Jay-Z were.
And I can understand,
But
like,
if you're one of 3 of that genre's artists, maybe your price is double or something. Maybe honestly, there's got to be economic justification for it. You could also say these are home runs, grand slams even.
They are, and I'm not saying they
It's-
are.
It is hilarious.
It is. Kenny Chesney, you can't beat that. I mean, for St. Louis, you can't beat Kenny Chesney and Florida Georgia
Returning.
line. Returning. So they saw the numbers. They're not, they saw it. I get it. I get the numbers
The
behind it.
chillaxification tour.
It is just, oh,
Like,
sweet
I'm not even
Jesus.
mad about, like, listen, Travis, I'll leave the searching of the other types of music up to you. I'm just deeply offended as a human, not even as a fan of music or even sometimes music that skews towards Americana or country.
Right.
The word chillaxification cuts my soul so deep as a human, as a Midwestern person, as a white person. Is Kenny Chesney, is he the one from Australia? Where's he from?
That's Keith Urban, I believe.
That'll do it. Regardless, take the hat off and say a
No, wait, I don't know.
want to-
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that was a test. You're fucking fired.
Damn it.
I
I deserve it.
I think I even just want to put them on the spot. I just want them to have to answer that. Well, we look at a
Some
rival.
gotcha journalism.
Yeah, well, I just want them to say we look at a wide variety of variables to determine who we're going to bring into Busch Stadium, and Kenny Chesney and these artists we have brought in the past fall into that. I want them to acknowledge that certain artists of color do not fall into their parameters. And so I think it's pretty obvious, and we've all joked about it. I think people who are white personalities here in St. Louis have even joked about it. Like, so it isn't just like my community just standing over in the corner just like with our arms folded. I think
Why can't black people get down and chillaxify?
chillaxifies? Chillaxifies. That's what we're going to have to do.
When's the last time you went chillaxificating?
Put it this way. It's been a
in
while.
in the mezzanine. Well, no, in the terrace level.
You know, it's
at
been a
Busch
while.
Stadium.
It's been a while since we've shut down a highway.
I'll
So-
shut down a highway.
So I'm just
for them
saying.
using the word chillaxification.
I'm saying.
Here's one thing I can guarantee. The word chillaxification has never been used on black Twitter.
It ought to be.
You are correct,
Hey,
sir.
steal that word.
And I don't even need a source for that. You are correct.
Steal that
You
word.
are absolutely correct. This is, they're gonna have to make up with this. Like, they're gonna have like a a black movie night at Busch Stadium or something. This is just can't keep happening.
A horror movie at that.
So
Something to that effect. They got to show like Get Out and Us back to back at Busch Stadium if they want to make up for
like a drive-in.
It's something to that effect. Yes.
Like a double feature drive-in movie.
This is insane. This is
Lil
ridiculous.
Lil Wayne really paved the way for future stadium bookings in St. Louis in the hip hop community. The
Okay.
black sheep, he's ramming in early, and he's got a point.
Okay. But again,
somebody called my hotel room. I'm leaving.
That's your Lil Wayne now?
For that one. it
Yeah,
was.
okay.
Yeah.
It's now 10 years plus where the Cardinals have had concerts, I guess. Now is it going on 12 years now?
I think it's like 12 now.
12 years where they've been having concerts at Busch Stadium, and still, the artist that probably closest relates to the urban community, let's say,
It's Paul McCartney.
is Paul McCartney.
The Beatle. The Beatle. The guy from another country is the most relatable music artist to the folks
Is that because he
of
stole
color
is
in
that 'cause
St.
he
Louis.
stole riffs from Muddy Waters?
But
or
I think,
something?
but even look, okay. Well, St. Louis Metro area doesn't have a large Hispanic population, but I still think there are probably some Hispanic artists, right, that could probably draw very well at Busch. No,
J-Lo?
J-Lo could draw.
At a stadium. I don't.
J-Lo
think she'd
could
a
draw.
stadium.
J-Lo could. She do stadiums, but I don't know if she'll do St. Louis. I think she'll do stadiums. I don't know if she'll do the Lou.
As I've said it before, I think, when we've discussed this, I think the way to kind of slowly get there to bridge it would have to be someone like Justin Timberlake.
Oh, like somebody, you get him, and then you have somebody, you have a
Or-
hip hop act open for him.
Or like Bruno Mars.
Bruno Mars, but Bruno Mars is the only one I can
he's
think
a
of.
stadium act.
No, he's definitely a stadium act. He's definitely a stadium act. I think Bruno Mars can do 40,000 at Busch easily. You did Bruno Mars do a Busch Stadium tour? I'm talking again. I know it's very easy to think that just St. Louis,
And just
but
because
Bruno
you
Mars
can at
will
times doesn't mean you always tour stadiums, by the way.
No,
So,
no,
yeah.
not at all. But Bruno Mars is the kind of guy that will attract people from, Illinois, all around the metro, outside the metro. People will drive up from Columbia. I can even see people driving from Kansas City.
I can see out of
To
state,
see-
just depending on where the tour might be.
Yeah,
if
I can
there
see
is a
people coming up
tour.
from Arkansas, Oklahoma, Illinois, from even Kansas City if Bruno Mars was doing a Busch Stadium tour. So they can definitely sell that out. Because St. Louisans will definitely go. And again, he's the kind of person that will attract people from North City all the way out to Clayton. So yeah, that could definitely pop. But again, I don't know if he's even doing any more stadium tours. Like I haven't seen Bruno Mars live in a concert in about a couple of years. So yeah, he's probably one of those artists. But yeah, to your point, Gardner, Justin Timberlake, if he ever goes on tour, that would probably be the next, I guess, the best compromise from the St. Louis Cardinals. But I'm not, this isn't anything we're outraged about. It's just sort of annoying because it's pretty obvious that there's a demographic the Cardinals are catering to and leaving out another aspect of the city again. So just when, I just want that to be highlighted. So when people say, I don't know why the city, the city is galvanizing around the Cardinals. City's galvanizing around sports. I'm like, well, no, there's a certain segment of the city that's doing that. And there's another segment that, again, is being left out. I just want the Cardinals to know that they are indeed purposely, and they may, again, their bottom line. That's what their job is, to look at the bottom line as to how this is going to make money for Busch Stadium. But at the same time, I also want them to acknowledge that you are leaving out a very large demographic of the city. Again. And that makes people feel a certain way about.
Give me more than 12 years of examples,
It's just.
and I'll believe you.
And the thing is, Busch Stadium used to do a lot of.
I can qualify too.
Busch Stadium, you actually, back in the day, used to do a lot of concerts that involved some very popular black artists. Everybody
Like
remembers Stevie Wonder doing the concert at Old Busch Stadium 2 to almost 5 in the morning. Like, that's considered one of the most memorable
Couldn't see his watch.
concerts. That's a good one. Well done.
I thought he faked being blind.
That's also a good
Throw a rock at him.
Is that him?
See how it works.
Oh, shit. Oh, they saw me duck. Damn.
Again.
Oh God! I just saw a visual of Stevie Wonder sitting at a baseball game. Foul ball comes at him and just hand snags it out of
And
the
then
air.
just immediately drops it like, oop.
Whoa!
Whoa, ow.
Who put that there?
Oh, wow, that's crazy. I blocked it from hurting myself. That's
I
just,
heard it coming right by me.
Yes, ooh.
Oh.
But yeah, and look, and I'm not, and to be clear, I don't want people to say, "Here goes Travis again," calling like I'm not legitimately calling the Cardinals racist in this, but I am saying that it does make us feel a type of way when you live in a city, you enjoy going to Busch Stadium, and you think it'd be a really cool experience. I think there is something they can do to supplement. You don't have to say, "Well, we haven't seen a black artist or artist of color that we thought would be able to justify the numbers that Kenny Chesney does," but you can do an event at Busch Stadium that would also attract other demographics of your fan base.
What if Nelly ends up on stage with Florida Georgia
He will.
Line?
He probably will.
He will.
Does that count?
That counts. You know what? Even if he just gets out there for that 10 seconds, I'm a sucker for cornrows, a manicure toad.
He was like, "See, told you we did it."
Uh-huh. Now shut up, Travis.
Free City Spud.
That's
Good
probably
night.
what's gonna happen. That's probably what's gonna happen. I don't know.
Oh, we're
It
going to
is.
have J.E. on next
Oh,
week.
next week.
Yeah.
J.E., of course, the famed producer for Nelly, famed producer on Country Grammar, Grammy Award winning.
Uh-huh. So, real quick, I don't know if this matters. Staples Center, American Airlines Center, Barclays Center, TD Garden, Air Canada, Wells Fargo, Pepsi was Bruno Mars' last tour.
So he was
what are those?
doing arenas.
Yeah, which, I mean, you would think that'd be a logical next step. Or
But I think like in a place
pretty-
like St.
or
Louis,
put him on with like one other arena act. I mean, they're kind of doing that. with
and
Florida
again, it's
Georgia
all a
Line,
part of their
or with-
tour, and it's all. This is also
Florida Georgia Line's a really big draw, right?
huge draw.
So then you could do Bruno Mars and someone right below Bruno Mars too. Yeah.
I'll have to take a look and see what Wrigley Field has going on. I mean, they
yeah, let's do that. That's a
concerts
good.
there.
That's a good barometer there. I agree. Let's use that. Let's find out some of their outdoor
Let's see,
concerts.
I know, like Pearl Jam seems to be like they're in residence at Wrigley Field. but
Yeah, that's also very true.
maybe that's only when they're winning, though.
Good point. It's crazy how you don't see a ton of those celebrities around Wrigley these days. That's very odd. But yeah,
Are you guys taking pride in others' pain?
just well, it's what.
Am I human?
Thank you.
I'm not sure at sometimes.
No. Fair.
Speaking of those Redbirds, the Cardinals continue to keep roll. Whatever that damn song is, I don't know.
Stephen Des Moines says Nelly will be there next month.
In Des Moines?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Huh.
I don't even look.
Is that what he meant whenever he said cornrows?
Yes, specifically.
Nice.
Look at you. Look at you today. Somebody's getting warmed up for that flyover comedy festival.
He's rapping that part coming out
Just
of a
that one.
cornfield.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
I hope that's the stage.
Cornrow.
I hope that's the stage. I hope that.
Cornrow. We had Kiwan in the office. Let's ask him. Can we get an inside
he
view?
should be choreographing this entire thing.
We really should.
I think so. Fantastic move.
It's just, it was a lot of fun baseball.
shower.
It's a lot of fun baseball news. We had fun with it before we even get to the Cardinals continue to keep their roll on.
Why is there a beer? Are you drinking before 9 again? That's not prophecy, is
It's
it?
happy hour somewhere. Vamos! The Kansas City Royals beer Boulevard. And the reason why we have it on the table is because there's
Is that
some
Corona knockoff?
possibly, but I wouldn't
So
say it's
smart.
a knockoff. But
No,
it's pretty
that's
smart. It's a
just
good summer
make-
beer.
every
And
beer
then-
should be that
And then they
kind
have a
of-
very
it's
large
so easy.
Hispanic population actually in Kansas City, so this makes a ton of sense. But
Same Kansas City, Kansas also.
yeah,
right,
indeed.
Right across. yeah.
Indeed. Well, we found out yesterday it looks like the manager of the Royals, the World Series winning manager, Ned Yost, is set to step down at the end of this weekend as manager of the Kansas City Royals. But there's a St. Louis connection there, serving as a consultant for the organization over the last
He's been a
year and a
deacon.
half.
He's been a deacon for the organization.
He's the chapel, yes.
Yeah, he's
the
the
chaplain. Mike Matheny, former manager of the St. Louis Cardinals, appears to be the front runner, the top candidate to replace Ned Yost as the next manager of the Kansas City Royals.
Grind, grind, grind.
Which, of course, delights us because we had so much fun, especially on the radio program, discussing one Mike Matheny on a consistent
Travis,
basis.
real
Still-
quick, Ned
still
Yost
good looking.
managerial record all time 1,144 wins, 1,238 losses. That's a winning percentage of 480.
480.
Keep celebrating him, guys.
Not bad.
Well, you have to, I think, in Kansas City. The same way we're probably going to celebrate
Oh, he
Greg
got the champ.
Berube. Yeah, he won the big one. He won what mattered, and Kansas City hadn't won one what, before that in 30 plus years. Yeah, he's gonna definitely probably get a statue.
1985.
Okay, I don't try to remember that date
Yeah, I
for
figured.
obvious reasons. But yeah, he'll probably either be on the Ring of Honor. He'll likely get a statue outside
Do
the
they have
Kaufman.
a Ring of Honor?
I don't know if they have one, but I would imagine they'll put a
making this
statue.
up.
Maybe they'll just put a statue on one of their fountains. I don't know how it works in
An
Kansas
ugly
City.
ass statue.
Yeah, it probably would be.
Why
But
don't they just
nevertheless,
have a-
how funny though is that another opportunity for Kansas City to get our old work. They like to always come up behind us, if you know what I mean. They always like after we did.
For
you know,
perspective, Tony La Russa, 2,728 wins, 2,365 losses for a 536 win percentage. What do you think?
we saw the
Matheny?
writing on the walls when we saw him become a consultant.
Why else do you
with-
have that
yeah,
guy hanging
you don't-
around?
Yeah,
No,
this-
it's not a foregone conclusion.
No, it's not a foregone conclusion because, as you know, the Kansas City Royals are actually up for sale, or they have been sold. And so the new owners could maybe want to come in and completely shake everything up, which would be an understandable decision as well. But they have a guy in-house who does have World Series experience, former player. And despite the way he ended here in St. Louis, I think he's still pretty likable around the league. So for the Royals, a team that doesn't have a ton of high expectations in a very competitive AL Central, who else are you going to draw bigger than Matheny unless you want to go from the complete ground up and maybe move up somebody from your farm system to give them a chance?
So what I was curious about too is,
Unless you were bringing George Brett.
is Dayton Moore still the general manager there? It
You
will
know that's
match
a-
up because he's brought it to the table that he doesn't want his players watching porn.
Yeah.
And he spoke out against that.
Yeah.
Won't judge my employees on their hobbies, but will let spirituality guide his everyday life. Despite working in an industry notorious for body and by some standards immoral behavior, even willing to put himself at odds who believe a workplace should be free of moralizing, and exposed the organization to criticism when he became the first major sports franchise to conduct an anti-pornography seminar led by the nonprofit organization Fight the New Drug.
Fight the what?
Fight the New Drug. Moore mandated that Royals minor league players attend, but could only suggest major league players take part. That's an anti-porn rally, the Royals general manager. So I'm thinking, Matheny, you may want to have the ladies and guys who like dudes leave the room because Matheny's going to be making it a little bit distracting for some of those folks.
See,
but
like,
I think he'll be on board with the message. Anyway.
Yeah, if I were a player in one of those, I'd be like, this seriously would be me.
I'd ask so many questions.
Well,
Yes,
I'd
yes.
ask questions. I'd be
Yes.
like, so give me a list of 10 websites I should not visit.
There you go.
Give me 3 specific search terms you've heard people
Yeah.
like, and I'll be sure to avoid those.
He
Right.
said mandated?
For minor leaguers. But players union, you can't tell them what to do. When it's not team specific, yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know you mandated for the minor leaguers. That's crazy
And
talk,
staff.
man.
Can you imagine? You're like,
Oh, my God.
I'm in accounts payable. You can't talk to me about what I do when I leave
That's
here.
absolutely
You were like an
fascinating.
employee. Did you have to go like confession to Dayton Moore if you looked at porn?
Nice.
I
Good
wonder
call.
what are the like, so if it's
Forgive me, Father, we had lunch at Show Me's, and afterwards I was very aroused.
Forgive me,
obviously-
Father. Forgive me, Dayton, for I have masturbated.
I will be honest, I watched some highlights of George Brett, and it got me very aroused. I tossed one off in the third base.
I think I
dugout.
might be into some weird stuff. It was a video of him talking about shit in his pants.
Danny Duffy's curveball really gets me going.
Jesus Christ.
I need to speak to you about that, Mr. Moore.
You're right. I guess Mike Matheny will be at home in Kansas City.
Female
Jesus.
employees.
Did you? And you know what? It's fascinating. It's interesting that you bring up that as an example, and not to get too far off topic, but in that same vein, I don't know if you guys saw this. Over the weekend or a couple weekends ago, there was a young lady, I guess Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki in, of course, the Marvel films. He's in a Broadway play in New York, and he's a very attractive, he's considered one of the hottest men in Hollywood.
Let me look him
By
up.
the Travis Terrell blog.
Yes, specifically my
Okay.
blog that's
Got
on We Are Live.
Got it.
But he, of course, is considered very attractive by a lot of women in the same vein that people are very into Mike Matheny. Well, apparently he was performing on stage, of course, at his Broadway play, and there was a lady who seemed
What'd she
to
do?
be
What'd she do?
arousing herself
do?
when he was on stage.
Oh, I heard about
all the
this.
way to the point where she apparently reached her peak. And people at first thought the woman was just restless. She couldn't maybe get comfortable in her seating. But they soon realized she had.
Did they find out when they pulled up some of those old-time theater glasses and looked from across the room?
They said the guy who
The
was
little binocular?
Well, I guess where she was sitting, the guy in front of her like kept wondering, why does this person keep hitting the back of my seat? And to which he turned around and noticed that the young lady was kind of in a curled up fetal position. And there was a point throughout, if you've ever been to a play, there's there are silent moments.
I thought she squirted him.
Well, she didn't go that far, but she did release a sound.
Did it happen twice?
It happened a couple times, and then the lady apparently stayed throughout the entire performance, and as soon as the curtains closed, she immediately made a beeline for the exit, but it was to witnesses.
Made a C-line.
So, good one, nice. So it's very possible that people could go to Kaufman next year and sitting in the bleachers, throwing back a vamos, and rounding third base with their crotch and while thinking about Mike Matheny.
Think a B-Fib's ever done that at Busch Stadium?
There's no
when
doubt.
he
There's
was
no
in
doubt
that?
about it. Absolutely.
Like Holt just praying for a
Oh,
home run so that they
absolutely.
could just
There's no doubt in my mind. There's somebody.
just a scream. They're like, come on, big hit, please.
Oh yeah.
Strike out, something.
I'm sure there's one of the players' wives probably at some point.
Run out that fly ball.
Oh yeah,
Hustle when you foul
Oh
out.
yeah, bring in that left-hand reliever. Oh yeah, go to the mound. Yeah,
Do that strut.
I'm gonna cheer on this veteran backup catcher.
You pull Carlos Martinez. Yeah, you pull him.
More mound visits.
Yeah.
Like how many women were pissed off when they limited mound visits?
A ton. Like, oh yeah, bad
Less
call.
Mike Matheny.
Imagine, can you see women at home watching Cardinals games, and then there's a bad call by the umpire, and Mike Matheny has to go out there and yell at the umps. Ladies just getting their lotion. Oh yeah! Joe West is calling this game. Oh, there's gonna be some terrible calls. Woo!
And Mike Matheny heads to the mound. He does that little shimmy. It drives the Johnson and Jackson County fans wild.
That is a beautiful smile. He is a beautiful man. We can't deny that. He did not have a beautiful conclusion to his career as a manager for the St. Louis Cardinals, but I tell you what, there are a lot of ladies who are concluding today. Or maybe I should just say finishing, huh?
Speaking of,
I'm talking about masturbation.
oh man. Speaking of good times, we've got a happiest hour. This Thursday. Right here in the DOTAC building, 3224 Locust. Join us. Specials at 4 o'clock. Come out. Bring your coworkers. Come have some fun. I know you guys aren't working past 2 p.m. anyway. Don't fool us. Come out. Free comedy starts at 6. This week, an amazing lineup. Our friend Molly Ambergy, she's been on the show. Kate Barton, she'll be on this week, I believe. Yeah, we're going to have her on the show Thursday. Yeah. And then Libby Higgins, friend of the show, longtime friend of the show. Libby Higgins going to be headlining, and I believe we're going to have a gentleman who's in from New York doing a guest spot as well. So a mostly ladies comedy show.
Hometowner. One
of your hometown guys, yeah. Don't forget Jack Daniels presents this with us, and they've got Jack Daniels on special in Sophie's Artist Lounge, and Schlafly Beer as well, the St. Louis brewery. Familiar with them, Trav? It's not a New York brewery, so didn't know if you'd be into that or not. Real quick, I got a text and a notification, and I saw it. The great South City Tone turns 400 today.
Good for him.
It's his birthday. We love
Shout
Tone.
out South City Tone.
Could not ask for a
400.
better. Yeah, that's right.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Good for the young.
Crystal.
I'll hold my
There we
crystal
go.
up
Give
for
him
him.
the
Okay,
crystal.
give him a crystal. Big shout out to South City Tone. He's been with us since the beginning and has supported the living bejesus out of us.
He has
And
indeed.
he's done that in public with Travis before.
Hey, what?
Mm-hmm.
Chris, we talked about another story.
What a subtle transition.
That again, I thought that probably could be used against my community, but Gardner was fortunate enough to save me from that embarrassment, so we can all enjoy the embarrassment of this particular individual as a family.
I wouldn't say embarrassment. So.
Well, okay. Well, it depends on how you
Let's
look
judge
at this.
for ourselves.
Let's judge for ourselves. The Emmys, of course, were this past Sunday, and Terrence Howard, who is, of course, the lead on Empire, which is coming to an end this season. It's been very popular. It's about to conclude, and Terrence Howard's been acting for, I want to say, a good two,
Hey,
almost
man.
3 decades. And he decided to have a nice interview, I think, with the folks at KTLA.
Correct.
And during this interview, it seemed like Terrence wanted to take the time to expound on what he plans on doing after Empire.
Hey, man.
Nevertheless, it looks like he has already something lined up, apparently.
Yeah, he's retired, he says, and
Hey, man.
just pay attention to some of the follow-up questions that are just my absolute favorite.
I love KTLA.
Because listen to what he's saying, and then listen to what the follow-ups are.
All right, here we go.
All
Terrence
right.
Howard on the purple carpet, the lavender carpet at the Emmys this past Sunday.
You made huge headlines when you said after you complete these 15 episodes of Empire, you gotta walk away for a while or forever.
For good. I mean, everyone keeps trying to tell me don't say it's forever, but I've spent 37 years pretending to be people so that people can pretend to watch and enjoy what I'm doing when I've made some discoveries in my own personal life with the science that Pythagoras was searching for. I was able to open up the flower of life properly and find the real wave conjugations that we've been looking for 10,000 years. Why would I continue, walking on water for tips when I've got an entire generation to teach a whole new world?
That's a big remark. What do you intend to do?
Well, let me put it this way. All energy in the universe is expressed in motion. All motion is expressed in waves. All waves are curved. So where does the straight lines come from to make the platonic solids? There are no straight lines. So when I took the flower of life and opened it properly, I found a whole new wave conjugations that expose the in-between spaces. It's the thing that holds us all together.
And you're gonna be sharing that?
I'm sharing that on Tuesday when I receive my star. I'm going to be able to prove that gravity is only an effect and not a force. I'm putting something on YouTube where I will build the planet Saturn without gravity and build the Milky Way galaxy without gravity.
Did you also say you're getting your star
Yeah.
on the Walk of
On the Walk of Fame,
Well,
which is interesting.
congratulations.
How am I getting a star when I've never received an Emmy nomination for TV?
You're a presenter tonight. You can do whatever you want. You stand in front of that microphone. What are you gonna do?
I have no idea. I'm just being honest and looking at it. I would think an Emmy nomination would come first.
We're asking, did you say you're getting a star? After everything he said.
I was like, oh, they giving you a star?
The guy goes, you're going to share that?
Those poor. This is the problem. Hey, you can say, okay, they've been on TV. All this. This is what happens when you don't have real people talking to you all the time. You don't know how to deal with situations like that, and they're like,
I actually give them credit
You
for
think
the
they
way
did a good
I think
job?
they actually did a very
Yeah.
good job. I mean,
yeah,
in
I
that
guess that for their
instance-
bosses. Yeah, it
Well,
would
not
have
only
been tough
that-
for me not to keep it going. Be like,
Well, they
oh,
did-
yeah, the wave thing.
Well, they didn't mock Terrence Howard. They did their best to be good sports. They
back.
didn't want to, they've been, I would imagine in your KTLA, you probably have to do these interviews a lot with celebrities. And so in their heads, they're thinking, well, how can we do this without offending Terrence Howard? Because maybe he's being serious. I think he was trolling, but maybe he is being serious.
He mentioned this in other interviews. I
Oh,
think
did
in
he?
A few others
Okay,
as
maybe
well.
this is, oh, wow.
Like, not exactly verbatim like this, but knowing the context of this one, it helps with the context of other interviews. He's also tweeted out recently some mathematical formula where he says he can prove 1 × 1 = 2.
I don't know.
So something's going on.
Triangle of
I
Celsius.
am interested to see if gravity is truly a force or not.
Feeling,
And
bro.
I'm interested to see him recreate Saturn. Apparently it's going to happen today
Okay, wait.
And
on YouTube.
Here's the fun thing about this. On the Empire cast, he's not even the craziest one.
Thank you, Jesse.
Right.
Now, is he doing? Some were saying, is he doing this to dodge Jussie Smollett questions?
It would be smart. It would be the smart
Let's
way
not
to
forget.
go
I mean,
about
he is
it.
an
How
actor.
do you do it? I just go in on this.
I think Terrence Howard is doing his. Somebody did this recently. It was actually Joaquin Phoenix. Remember a few years back he was
Yeah.
doing the whole "I'm playing crazy, but I'm doing it for a role" thing.
I don't
I'm not
think
here.
This is it.
Yeah, I'm not here. I mean, maybe it's
I
not
get
along
ya.
those lines, but I feel like this is slightly Andy Kaufman-esque.
Could be.
I think he may be.
He is an actor.
He is an actor, and here's a guy that's. I mean, look, we're talking about Terrence Howard.
I think you're giving him too much of a benefit right now.
I think I am, but I just feel like nobody. Like I look Hollywood, and we have seen it, and we've seen the movies, the biopics, we've seen the documentaries. Yeah, actors can reach a breaking point, and in their real life,
You
they
can also-
start to become. But then I also realize that in order for you to continue to get work in that industry, you have to find any means necessary to stay relevant. And if this is probably the safest, funniest, not completely, totally crazy way to go about it. We've seen crazy
Travis,
interviews.
I'm listening to you talk, and
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm ad-libbing here. I'm doing a little jazz here, okay? But I mean,
Oh wow! Oh wow! Oh wow!
I'm taking
Yeah.
30
Oh,
points
wow!
off
Great
your score.
American
Oh come
Race.
on!
The Great American
He had
Race.
Kenny Chesney at Florida Georgia Line earlier. Come
I'll
on!
take 20 off.
Chillaxification.
Here.
Okay,
Oh,
thank
you actually just
Yes,
got yourself 20 more
chillaxification.
points. We are tied.
There we
going
go, okay.
Into tomorrow.
How are we
now.
going to tie it up when that guy just said he's going to change the Milky Way?
Well, he might be able to.
Well, if he shows up on Rogan, I should probably
Let
get
me
an
watch
extra
the
40
YouTube-
points.
Let me
I'll
watch
get
the
I'll get a
YouTube.
3-hour conversation where I can really understand what's going on with him. A couple comments. Triangle Assassin thought my head was going to explode during that. Tom Brown wants to know how that's crazier than Scientology. Lisa Conway thinks he's a Blink-182 fan. And also, Triangle Assassin wants a refund on his math degree. After seeing them. Also, Black Sheep said Terrence Howard just sounded like me in high school trying to explain to my parents where I've been drinking, where I've been after he's been
Someone,
drinking.
That was a good. Wasn't that not a good follow-up question though? He asked, "Well, how do you plan on doing that?" Like he's talking about how he wanted
Yeah,
to take the time to
but
spread that to the
I
universities.
will say
I
this.
could feel him squirming.
She sounded ridiculous when she
Yeah.
said, "Oh, you're getting a star."
I
like
think she-
it's, now. Let me finish.
Okay.
It sounds ridiculous because of everything he's saying, but what it did accomplish is change the conversation
Yes.
to a completion point.
Yes.
Without
yes.
saying enough of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because she did not know what to do at one point.
She didn't. She was very
because
quiet.
You heard her go, "Well,"
Well.
and she's like looking off, like, "What do I do?"
Yes.
And you can see that, and I just loved the guy's first follow up though.
You're going to share
You're
that?
going to share that?
Which is a fair question. If you have this power, if you have the ability to build Saturn on your own, it's maybe considered dangerous to share such power with the rest of the world.
He's fine
So
now.
that's.
Oh, no,
find out he-
you're defending Black Panther. That's what you're doing.
I'm
Right,
just saying
Hey,
that.
we have the technology. We'll keep it to ourselves.
I mean, if it's later discovered this afternoon that Terrence Howard has figured out to control gravity, that's a whole new can of worms
and then
that we
he's
have
created
to
a black hole here on Earth, then what?
Or this may be Terrence Howard's way of getting back into the MCU. Maybe this is Terrence Howard auditioning
This is an
for
audition?
Marvel to get maybe back into the Black Panther. Maybe he can be a villain.
I think what we're going to find out is he's
Thank you.
rebooting the defunct car manufacturer, and he's just invested. This was his clever way of saying Saturn's back.
This is just a
No haggling.
look. No one's watching Empire. Nice try, Fox. This is just Fox's way of trying to get us to watch Empire, the final
They
season.
just gave him a big
It ain't
handful
gonna
of
happen.
LSD,
Yeah, they did.
and they said, "Go get him, go talk."
Well, now I want to see what he puts on YouTube today, at
Yeah,
least.
at least looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
I mean, how can you not? I think some people that tweeted at me when I tweeted about this myself were clearing their schedules.
It brings up an interesting point. Do you think what's more difficult to climb out of, a Netflix binge or a YouTube wormhole?
For me, YouTube.
I agree, because YouTube wormholes,
'Cause
like
then those suggestions start. On
yes, and
What's
then you
this?
go, I didn't realize there were top 10 Jennifer Gardner roles, but I want to see it now.
Garner.
Is it Garner or Gardner?
Jennifer Garner.
Is it Garner?
Garner.
Okay.
What'd you call her?
I think I said added a D somewhere in there. Maybe I apologize.
We're not
You
related.
look away for a couple seconds, and then you turn back, and you're a white supremacist.
That's probably what it is. I know. I enjoy YouTube wormholes. They're fun. So I get what Terrence Howard's doing here. Now, I'm like you. I'm interested. Now, what's going to happen is I'm going to look at Terrence Howard's video, and then I'm going to find out that there is somebody in Australia who's been working on controlling gravity for the last 2 decades, and he has a 25-minute video that I'm going to sit down and watch because it's great graphics and amazing soundtrack.
It's just I have a hard time believing that all the work of Sir Isaac Newton is just gone like that.
I think it's very possible. Terrence Howard has defied gravity in regards to his damn career. It should have fallen by now. But it hasn't. Here he is. Here's a guy who screwed up his decades worth of checks by pissing off Marvel. And yet he's still considered a pretty successful actor.
Isn't he like have an issue with women too?
Yeah, he has a very,
Like
very
a major issue.
problematic past.
Like
Very
more than one
problematic.
occasion.
Yeah,
But
very problematic
back
past.
to the gravity. I just want to know, like, what would ancient astronaut theorists say if it was the question was posed that gravity is not a law or a force; it's a feeling?
How pissed off would we be if we discovered that Tom DeLonge and Terrence Howard had the answers to the universe the entire time?
Ancient astronaut theorists say yes.
It would make sense, though, because we're thinking the entire time someone from MIT,
My
Harvard.
head would explode.
It's
Man,
oh, man. Terrence Howard, here's to you, sir. Keep drinking. Sweet Jesus.
so you feel good about your people?
I'm going to be honest. Gardner was right to take points away from me on that one. As much as we do our best to not claim Terrence Howard,
This entire first hour basically has been the great American race.
it really has. It has not been a good look for either of our communities today.
Chillaxificating America.
Chillaxification and a black man who thinks he can control gravity. Can't control cops shooting us in the face, but you can certainly find a way to control gravity. Thank you, Terrence Howard.
The official stadium concert tour of Cocktoberfest is now the Chillaxification tour.
But I will say with Terrence Howard, he's the example of someone who can control his shit. So we talked about how people go out to bars and they can't control their alcohol. When they're out, they act like amateurs. It is very clear that Terrence Howard allegedly is on some type of substance in this video, but he's under
I don't know.
control.
He looked fairly. He
But-
didn't.
but I
look,
think-
he didn't look altered.
I don't. But when I say not necessarily altered, but that's my point. Like he probably was altered, but because he's done so
Well-
much and is so good at it, he can control. He's not sloppy with it.
Well, you
It's
could
not
tell,
noticeable.
like-
but he's under some influence in that video.
Well, here's the thing, like
allegedly.
someone would be like, oh, maybe he's mentally ill or something like that. But look at the end when he's talking about his star. He's being very reasonable in the way he approaches it. So
Well, you
that's
don't-
why.
Well, also you just need a bunch of signatures and I think $40,000 to get your star on the Walk of
How many
Fame. So
signatures?
yeah, it needs. You
Can
need.
we get you one?
It's very possible. I think you have to
International
raise.
screenwriter?
I don't think you need to. I mean, obviously, it's great to have credits, but you don't need to be an accomplished individual in Hollywood
Oh,
to
really?
get a star on the Walk of Fame. I think it's literally you have to have maybe a film or television or entertainment credit of some sort. You have to get X amount of signatures, and then it's $75,000 or something like that.
So we could do a GoFundMe possibly.
Technically, I
To
mean,
get
I don't.
you-
I don't think I have a credit
Can we?
anywhere.
All right, let's get you a credit and then go from there. How about that?
Game. Let's do it. I'm game. That could be our next.
We'll get into that. Yeah, let's make it happen.
Treview.
Gardner,
Travis Treviews, his own star.
you're great on Twitter. I believe you had a poll. We have some results from.
Oh yeah. I put this out over the weekend. You know how I like ascot sounding names? My ascot all stars we did at the All Star break.
Mm-hmm.
It's been brought to my attention that there's a football player in the NFL that has a name that is a little ascot-y. So I thought I'd see how people thought his name compared to basically the golden ascot winner of the Ascot All-Stars for MLB this year. So the question was, which of these professional athletes has a better name for wearing an ascot effectively? Chesler Jesley Cuthbert
That's a great name.
or Gardner Flint Minshew II?
And it looks like our good friend Gardner Flint Minshew,
The second.
the second, is your winner with 59%.
59,
of the
but
vote.
I was, you know what I didn't realize is when I looked up Chesler Cuthbert's name, I did not even realize his middle name was Jesley. that adds even more to it.
It
for
really
me.
does.
I would still go with Chesley Cuthbert myself, but I understand the adoration, maybe some recency bias as well for Gardner Flint Minshew the second.
Gardner Flint Minshew is the second, is the now starting quarterback for the Jacksonville Jaguars. Am I correct?
Mm-hmm.
And who is Chesler
Look what I know.
Cuthbert?
He played for, he'll be playing for Mike Matheny possibly.
Ah, and the Royals of KC.
Yeah.
Those are great names. Jessley, I didn't realize that was a name.
No, that's a great name. So I wanted to put that out there.
Good for you. We've got a Travu coming up, and I will tell you guys about Gateway Powder Coating before we do that. GatewayPowderCoat.com for more information. Check them out. Their Facebook page has a bunch of great pictures of their work. They've just redone some new wheels on there. You can see all of their work again on Facebook. Just search for Gateway Powder Coating. They're located in O'Fallon, Missouri. Everybody, fast, durable, affordable, the #1 resource for powder coating in the Midwest. That's Gateway Powder Coating, GatewayPowderCoat.com.
Did you guys see my homegirl, Greta Thunberg? She is a delight. For those who do not follow the news, weirdos. Young lady from the UK. She has been basically on a worldwide tour.
From where?
From the UK, from University of Kentucky. Is she from the UK? Or is she from Sweden? She's Swedish. I
There
apologize.
you go.
When I see the countries on that side of the
There you
globe, I
go.
just figure they all run together. From the country of IKEA.
That's
Greta, she's
closer than UK. Yeah.
That's very true. She's been going around. She's become a climate change activist, a very prominent one. She was in the States, I believe, last week. And I actually think she was in the States yesterday. She was at the UN Climate Change Conference, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if that was being held in New York, but
Yes, it was.
It was? Okay. Well, I don't know. They hold these things everywhere. I don't know. But your homeboy decided to drop in. I don't know where these things are held
No,
now.
it's just we started with having to correct the country.
Had to
and
correct the
then-
country.
It's obviously a very important topic to
The
Travis.
reason why I bring it up is because she was making she was trending on Twitter. She basically called out the adults in the room, essentially saying, "You motherfucker screwed up my planet, and I'm pissed off about it. And y'all sitting up here dicking around. How about y'all stop ruining my future and get to work?" And after she gave this stirring speech, it was very good. Your hero and mentor, 45th President of the United States, swooped on in and provided his own commentary, talking as if...
Why does the little person keep talking?
He actually tweeted something nice about her, which I was mildly surprised. And I think it was just simple. Like, oh, she seems like a nice young lady. And for Trump, that has to be the nicest tweet ever. But
Stafford
it just shows...
wrestled his phone out of his hands.
But
They're
it
like,
has to.
I got this one.
But it also probably highlights her popularity in general, or because for him to even tweet about her and then say something relatively positive, just illustrates how she has resonated to the point where she's almost Teflon, even from Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Which is pretty impressive because even for Trump, he would definitely go after children. He would have. No, he hasn't. He's at least.
No, he would.
He has, but he doesn't have a history.
I said he would.
He would, but he
go
hasn't.
after her parents.
I
would
think
say,
he
like,
would go
where
after-
are they? Why are they? Why isn't she in school?
He hasn't gone after the kids who have been activists for gun control. So maybe that is the line for him.
No, I don't believe so.
Seemed to work out for Jamie Allman.
I'm just curious. Yesterday I wondered with that tweet, did we finally see a line?
No.
You don't think it exists at all?
No.
Okay. Denman, do you
There's
think
a
that's a
reason-
lie? Do you think
There's a reason I call him a lousy rat bastard motherfucker.
No, that's also very true. By the way, you can probably catch it on a Buy Jack shirt here in the next
Wow.
6 months.
What's your next project?
Yeah,
There it is.
we'll do something along those lines.
Well, I'm very excited that the momentum, and not that it means
Because
it's going to turn into
on
action.
Fox News had to issue an apology from one of their guests last night.
Michael Knowles, conservative,
What did he say?
he called the girl mentally ill because she's autistic.
Oh.
He has Asperger's.
And so, he called her,
Over and over.
over and over.
And then Laura Ingraham, I believe, was
Called her
reference to
Children of the Corn.
So, yeah, they're just shit people.
Not only they shit people, but I think
That's so
games.
terrible.
But I think it's game set match in regards to. And Gardner, you've said this before about how it's not necessarily political, and she's highlighted. It's not even that funny. Give me a break.
No, the situation's hilarious that you would think to call a children of the
Right.
corn to garner reaction.
Yes.
But yes, and I think that also underscores where quote unquote opponents are in regards to the climate change discussion. That the best you have, instead of maybe even challenging the science, instead of even doing that,
Well, that's
you
not
are
effective, Travis.
well, it's not effective, and so to bring yourself to a point in an argument where you're name calling a child seems pretty stupid from your PR standpoint. So even if you're a quote unquote conservative that's behind the anti-climate change, which is I again don't get how it's anti-climate change, but if you're that person who's like,
It's a
oh, you're full of,
cycle. It's always happening.
It's winter. Look, it's snowing outside, Chris, because it is winter. What are you talking about? Those folks, you're doing yourself a disservice.
I had someone who I respect, who's very smart, asked me the other day, "Well, how do you explain the ice ages?" And I go, you've never looked into this, have you? You have an opinion and you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Get
do
him,
you?"
Gardner. Get him, Gardner.
And he's part of my dream team, actually.
Oh boy.
He's like, "What?" I
Oh,
go,
he's a lawyer. That's not
I go, "Well,
good.
you would know that. You would know the answer to this if you were asking me, because there is an answer, and I'm not going to do the research for you. Go look it up yourself.
Get him, Guardsy.
There are answers. That's all you have to do is look at answers."
I don't know what momentum means in a conversation like this of this magnitude. And again, this doesn't mean this is going to spurn action in Congress and people are going to finally get off their asses. But there seems, from at least a public relations standpoint, some heavy momentum behind some action on climate change.
Yeah,
I think that's impressive. And to her point, and again, I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be
No,
kumbaya and
no,
thinking
no,
that it's going to.
It's a ridiculous thought to have, that you have to have PR for this. That
True.
you have to have, and there are people out there that are great communicators, and this does help. I will say this. Great communicators that are scientists
Yeah.
of what's going on.
Yes. And she's pointed that out. She's even said in her many speeches, don't listen to me, listen to the science. She said, I'm just here highlighting what you should already know about the science.
And I guess this is maybe where we are as a society in a way. But even, because like science will admit uncertainty. And even the scientific method, it's not, this is a law, this is 100% or anything like that.
Right.
It is what is most likely.
Right.
What is likely.
Right.
So, because there is wiggle room, because parameters change. and
Right.
You learn new things. That's part of the wonder of science. And so people seem to think uncertainty means, well, you don't know this, so
Right.
you could be wrong.
Right.
But the likelihood is that no. A great likelihood is that is incorrect.
And then I love the way that I love her confidence. I love her tenacity because it truly underscores the moment. And I even again, as a person who has become very, jaded when it comes to our political process for obvious reasons, I am a bit inspired by this young lady's approach. She's been very conscientious about the way and to your point, Garner, you're exactly right. I think the idea that there has to be PR, unfortunately, just even with the people we know.
Dumb people think they're smarter than they are, and
Yes.
dumb people that are like that
Yes.
are scared of people that are smarter than them because they're afraid of what might happen to them.
Yes.
And look, in a way, it's trusting other people.
Yes.
That can be a scary thing,
Certainly.
especially if you don't have the ability to grasp or understand. There are many things I cannot grasp or understand, and that's bothersome to me. So I have to trust others that maybe have that ability. So you're giving away trust in a way. So that can be a scary thing to people. But eventually you just have to say, look, stop being so fucking dumb.
You do. I have nothing to top that because, my friend, you just slam dunked. And I think because you just said that, I should probably get an extra 20, 30 points on a great American race.
Doesn't make any sense
Mm,
at all.
No.
Big thanks to Tech Electronics for helping us outfit our studio here at Midcoast Media. You can check them out online, techelectronics.com. If your business needs managed services, any kind of tech help, or you're looking for equipment, they are here to help you. Also, emergency systems like your fire systems in the building. If you're in charge of that, be sure to hit up techelectronics.com for more information. Guys, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side with Chris Manto from Snappy Bigman. We'll do a Trav U, have some fun. Keep it here on We Are Live.